Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today I've given up on my hair and a new Subnautica video has just come out. Oh, a brand new Q&A this time. Now there isn't too much to say on it, but they do cover all the important points. I would strongly advise looking into it. I'm mainly including this in the video because a lot of people, it can be easy to miss if you're not subscribed to the channel, if you're not in their Discord server, stuff like that. It can be a huge pain to try and keep up with, so if you're interested, do that now. Now, the next part of this video is going to be a breakdown of the first Subnautica video. Now, I was originally going to do that very quickly to go alongside that release, but I thought I would wait until the next sort of update we got from the studio. But seeing as the next update is just a Q&A, I've decided that I'm just gonna do that now. On top of that, if you are also struggling to keep up with more of that Subnautica news, there's now Subnautica Mobile coming out, which I just got up on my phone. There it is. It'll cost $14.99 here, but who knows with regional pricing differences. Anyway, thank you for watching this part. Let's get into the analysis. I did it with my partner, so it was a two-person thing. It's just our thoughts on what we've seen. Here we go. Also, a super quick shout out here to the new clip that we've just seen in the latest Q&A. All it does is confirm more of what we already knew. It's going to be a dynamic base building system, but still very cool regardless. Sorry, editing me here. I also just wanted to reiterate that it's entirely speculation, blah blah blah. Maybe you have a better idea that you can share. Maybe you know more, you know. So, I'm just as excited as you. Please don't kill me. Okay, so it's time to take that deep dive into the latest on Subnautica 2. Well, not the latest anymore, but you know what I mean. First off, could Coral Gardens be the new name for the Shallows? More than likely, it's a whole new biome. We haven't seen anything on the surface yet, so maybe it's an underground variant of a Shallows kind of like expanded safe area, bridging the gap between safe and dangerous. It reminds me of how the original game eased us from safe shallows into the creepvine forest, but something a little bit more smooth. Next up, there's something that looks like fragments from the first game, or maybe even supply crates. No sign of any crashes yet, but the focus on ruins and history could mean a thematic link between the game's future setting and whatever ancient civilizations came before. I think that parallel would be quite cool. Oh, and what I thought was lava here in my original video was probably just a flare. You can see the bright light under the rocks. I'm curious if they'll give flares more uses like distracting fish. In the clip, the fish initially seems to be distracted by the light, then turns threatening. And it seems like the devs are leaning towards distraction and prevention rather than offensive options for dealing with creatures, which could really change up how we play. Something that backs this up is how they've talked about how we won't be able to kill leviathans in the next game. There's possibly two scanning modes here too. One shows a solid health symbol, and the other fills up with a DNA recommendation. Probably placeholder stuff for now. I did notice the copper node used the same animation but with a different item on the scanner's projection. The life pod design at the top looks similar to Below Zero's with the rounded window, though it has some extra inflatables underneath. Oh, and in the bottom right corner of the UI there's a mention of dev branches. So, if you don't know, a dev branch is how they split off a game in development. Since they're using Unreal Engine, it uses binary, it's not an easy thing they can go in and edit like a Google Doc. They're probably using some type of software to lock off part of the game so they can check it out, so it would be exclusively theirs. So let's say you wanted to move a rock, you would go into the project, check out that rock, and no other developer would be able to touch it. Anyway, that's why you're seeing all the different names at the bottom, and it's why all of these features are likely in their own little dev test builds and not all in the same one. It looks here like the PDA might track your playtime, judging by the day counter under the construction sign. The construction tool's background texture suggests it might be using your helmet as a HUD, and that would be really neat. We haven't seen the actual PDA yet, so I'm assuming it'll be similar to the first two games unless proven otherwise. Could be interesting if they integrate it into the suit though. If a player's seen without a helmet, that might disprove my theory. Overall, looks like more of the same but expanded. The mention of a superconducting foundation might hint at a new power system, maybe replacing the old approach of just slapping stuff anywhere. And the old fabricator seems to be back too, but the rooms now look like flat-bottomed rounded boxes rather than the classic tubes, so maybe the rooms can merge together now, unless that's a new room type entirely. The new copper node might be the perfect segue to talk about the potential new material or inventory system. When building, it shows 0.71 titanium out of 1, so maybe nodes are randomized in amount or act as a fuel or ammo for tools and repairs. Letting us use smaller amounts like this could help with balancing. Also, looks like we're finally getting that grid placement system we all wanted for the first 2 games. Quick birthday cameo here too, that's always fun. Looks like we get our first proper look at either a ruin or a wreck here with some lithium and maybe titanium nodes too. It's a bit hard to tell from the footage though. The map at the top is super interesting, but honestly, it's tough to decode. The red might indicate thermal activity based on the shape of the land. The greenish teal area reminds me of brine, but that doesn't really make sense in the shadows. And on the left there's either an unfinished area or the void. Definitely not replaced audio recording. It's a steep drop off to the right, which could link up with other regions. The dimensions only really make sense if it's XYZ, but I'll show you an XZY layout on screen too. It could also just be the world's max size stretching out into that classic endless ocean. This next screen is full of information, so let's break it down. First off, the orbs are probably for baked-in reflections and lighting data, or they might be AI navigation points. Moving to the outliner menu, we've got the graveyard, which is the setting for the next 2 clips. We also see the Axum Ruins Observatory Zone. Now that's interesting. The kingdom for Axum was one of the first places humans developed in Ethiopia. Could this be a reference to an ancient alien civilization here, tying into the blight at the bottom as a possible cause of their demise? I'm not saying the K word, but you never know. There's the lead zone, maybe a sub-region of the graveyard, but Hannah thinks it's its own thing entirely. There's not much info yet, so we'll have to see. The bottom text that's cut off looks like it just says Plateau Zone 1. Bottom left, we've got the Content tab. Blight could be the stand-in for whatever caused the ruins, or maybe some other threat. Dynamic events suggest a mix of scripted and unscripted sequences. Maybe like the currents from the trailer, or some of the encounters in Below Zero. And the rest is pretty self-explanatory. On the right, it's a breakdown of areas we've already seen, and then to the far right, we've got semi-random interactables and creatures. No sign of the anemones here, but I'm betting the water slugs are the birthday guy. Still in the graveyard zone, the rocks look oddly carved out, like they didn't form naturally. Hannah's theory is that the cuttlefish built a civilization here. I think this might be where we see the acid anemone, those little blue guys. Here's our first look at the DNA meter and some close-up AI interactions. Like I said earlier, that DNA meter on the HUD is interesting because it suggests some modifications might not be permanent. Or maybe it's linked to the PDA's slime warning from earlier, or maybe some upgrades are consumable. Oh, and Hannah wanted me to mention that it looks like Alex Reeves might be back based on that creature's design. From here, we're seeing some co-op stuff. Nothing too major, aside from that adorable little ball creature. But check out that chargy fish. They puff themselves up to look bigger, then charge at each other. Looks like a pistol shrimp reference, because their clashes can cause flashes of light. Or in a more sci-fi twist, maybe the fish on the right is dispersing kinetic energy as light, or using it as a disorienting move. Kinda neat. I also totally missed a fragment crate in Cable at first glance. I doubt the cables are part of the new power system, but maybe we'll find old stations like in the first game, or things Altera sent down for you, or even research sites like the early Below Zero builds. In the construction segment, I reckon the HUD is showing the base's power stats, 40 gained, 4 drained. Nothing groundbreaking, but the new hatch does look fun. And hey, still no sign of a knife. The hotbar's been pretty clean, which makes me think they're streamlining tools this time. We got a peek at the machine, called the bioincubator here, and the Altera logo finally shows up too, so they're definitely not moving away from some of the things we know and love. And that cave doesn't look like a natural formation. Anyway, thanks for listening. Those are just some of the things we spotted. Obviously, there's not much information. It's a super quick teaser and we have nothing else yet. But either way, I just want to have stuff out. I'm excited for Subnautica 2. I want to see what they have next, and I want to know what you are most excited for. For me, the boring answer is that I'm just excited to see the overall development of the game. One of my favourite aspects of the first game was following it all the way through early access, looking back on it, seeing how much has changed, and it was insane. While I'm not sure we'll get the same degree of improvements because, the development rate of games is kind of slowing down. The original game went over a generation of graphical improvements, but it'll still be really cool to see. And I'm so excited for whatever comes next. Make sure to get that game wishlisted. I don't know. Thanks. Bye.